World Cup season is usually the best of times for everyone. Fans, players, hosts, journalists, everyone usually loves it. Well, except maybe the biggest clubs in the world. For top clubs, a World Cup summer means that pre-season is cut short, and that's never great news for clubs and coaches, especially those big clubs that expect to send the majority of their players to the World Cup. Well, this year though, some clubs have caught a break. We have seen a lot of big names get snubbed in the callups, and while that might be disappointing for the players themselves, it sounds like great news for the clubs and coaches. Well, which clubs are the luckiest of the bunch in this aspect? We'll find out in this video today. These are 7 top clubs that will benefit the most from World Cup snubs.
Hey fam, this is your chance to build the jersey collection you've been waiting for. The Goal 90 bundle deal is live. Buy 2 jerseys and get 10% off. Buy 3 and get 15% off. Buy 4 and get a massive 25% off. Club kits, country kits, retro classics, pick your favourites and save big. And yes, every order comes with free worldwide shipping. The deal runs only until the end of May. Goal 90 bundle deal. Buy more, save more. Shop now at Goal 90 Shop.
We'll start with Liverpool. A club of their status is usually expected to send almost the entire starting 11 to the World Cup, but that has not been the case this year. There has been a combination of top players getting snubbed and others not qualifying that will leave a good portion of the Liverpool players at home this summer. Frimpong was snubbed by the Netherlands, Chiesa didn't qualify with Italy, Szoboszlai and Kerkez didn't qualify with Hungary, Hugo Ekitike misses out because of an injury, Mamadashvili didn't qualify with Georgia, Joe Gomez, Curtis Jones and Rio Ngumoha weren't called up by England, making it the first time in 40 years that an England squad for a major tournament hasn't featured at least one Liverpool player. The likes of Salah and Robertson will be heading to the World Cup with Egypt and Scotland respectively, but as you know, they're no longer Liverpool players, so that doesn't count. This means that this summer, Slot will be able to start pre-season training early with a fair portion of his first team. When you look at it like that, it's not so bad, is it? Liverpool will only have 8 players at the World Cup, and that could give them a bit of an edge on champions Arsenal, who are sending 16 of their 24-man squad to the World Cup, but especially City, who are bringing in a new coach but are sending 17 of their 25 players to North America, which means he won't have as much time as he'd want with his full team before the new season starts. But of course, the Merseyside Reds are not the only Premier League club that will benefit from these World Cup snubs. Do you know who the other guys are? Take a guess in the comments, we'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Next, let's talk about Real Madrid. The way their players have been snubbed this year comes off as a real shock to everyone. Just as Liverpool has no representative in the England World Cup squad, Real Madrid has no representative in the Spain squad either. It's pretty crazy. Hyson and Carreras were snubbed by Spain, Trent was snubbed by England, Camavinga was snubbed by France, Mastantuono was snubbed by Argentina, Milito and Rodrigo are injured, so can't go with Brazil. Even the outgoing captain Dani Carvajal was snubbed by Spain. This was all very shocking to the entire football world. But when you look at the fact that the new coach can come in and have these top players in camp early in the summer with no fear of picking up injuries at the World Cup, it's surely good news for the club entering into a new season and a new era. Another Spanish club who can be excited a little is Sevilla. They had a really difficult season fighting relegation for most of the campaign. A club this size surely doesn't want to be in that position for multiple seasons, so they'll be hoping to right those wrongs in the new campaign. And well, they can start early with almost a full squad, as most of their players were snubbed by their national team coaches. Only 3 Sevilla players have been called up to the World Cup, and one of them is the backup goalkeeper Nieland. The other 2 are Sau and Vargas, both of Switzerland. If Sevilla want to return to European places, at the very least, a lot needs to change, and for that to happen, they would have to start early. And well, thanks to these snubs, they can actually start early this summer. Now, remember we said that there are a few more Premier League teams on this list? Well, one of them is Chelsea. A top club like this will surely have hoped to send more players to the World Cup, but most of their players have been hugely disappointed. Robert Sanchez was snubbed by Spain, Wesley Fofana was snubbed by France, Cole Palmer was snubbed by England, and Tuchel probably didn't think Colwill was fit enough, while we don't believe Delap, Chalobah and Tozin were even considered. Romeo Lavia was snubbed by Belgium, Isugo wasn't even considered by Portugal, João Pedro and André Santos were snubbed by Brazil, while Estevan was injured so he couldn't go. Of course, Jamie Gittens was also injured, but even if he wasn't, he still wouldn't have gone. This means that a large portion of the Chelsea squad will be available to return to the squad early in the summer, and we're sure that the new coach coming in will be happy about this. He'll be able to start early with the squad and will have enough time to get some of the key players to imbibe his philosophy before the new season starts. The 2026-27 season is about to be a really big one for Chelsea. Having failed to qualify for Europe, they have a real opportunity to mount a proper title charge, as they'll have the advantage of getting more rest than their counterparts every other week. And well, as it seems, they'll also have the advantage of being able to start earlier than most of those counterparts. But they're not even the only London club with this advantage. Spurs also do. They too have seen most of their players get snubbed by their national teams. Well, either that or they didn't even qualify at all. Gallagher was snubbed by England, Richarlison and Sousa were snubbed by Brazil, Tell was snubbed by France, Kinski was snubbed by Czech Republic, Maddison was just not fit enough to be considered by England, while Kulusevski, Simons Kudus and Solanke all miss out due to injuries. Heck, even the players who only came in on loan were snubbed by their national teams. Palhinha wasn't selected by Portugal, and Kolo Muani was also overlooked by France. The rest just did not qualify. Vicario and Udogie failed to qualify with Italy, while Dragusin failed to qualify with Romania. What this means is that the majority of the squad will be at home and will be able to resume back at the club early in the summer. This will allow De Zerbi to have a proper pre-season and start to drill his team early enough as he tries to dig them out of this rot they have found themselves in. Up next is Bayer Leverkusen. They'll be sending only 5 players to the World Cup this year, which is surely not bad for planning. Apart from Schick, Tillman, Grimaldo, Flecken and Quansah, the rest of the squad will be home and be able to resume the season early. That's almost the whole of the team available for an earlier pre-season than their bigger rivals. If they want to repeat the success of the 2023-24 season, then they would have to make good use of this advantage they have over Bayern, who are sending 16 of their 23 first-team players to the World Cup. Another club that must make use of this advantage they have over their rivals is RC Lens. This season, they proved that they can roll with the big boys. They pushed PSG until the very end for the league title and ended the season with a trophy. This means that next season is about to be huge for them. They're back in the Champions League and will also be looking to mount another title charge. With these ambitions at the back of their minds, having most of their players not going to the World Cup sounds a bit like great news. Florian Thauvin and Adrian Thomason were snubbed by France, while Alain Saint-Maximin has never really been considered. And then you have Odson Edouard, who was noble enough to turn down an opportunity to lead the line for Haiti because he didn't feel it would be fair to just come in from nowhere and take the place of someone who had worked so hard to get the country to its first World Cup in over half a century. Anyway, all of this sounds great for Lens, who will be able to start their pre-season early enough. Compared to PSG, who are sending 15 of their 23-man squad to the World Cup this summer, something seemingly little like this could give Lens a bit of an edge at the start of the season. Anyway, it is now time to hear from you guys. Are there more top clubs you think are benefiting from the recent World Cup snubs? How much of a difference do you think having a little longer pre-season could make in the course of the new season? Which of these clubs do you think will be able to make the most out of this? Get in the comments and talk to us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.